Hello everyone, Brad here with StartRestoringHeadlights.com and welcome back to another headlight restoration video. Thank you so much for tuning in. So this video is obviously a little bit different. I am doing a restoration on a 2023 Chevy Tahoe. I will admit I was pretty confused when the customer first reached out because I honestly thought it was like a typo or something when they texted me. I thought it might have been a 2003 or even a 2013 Tahoe, but after confirming and sending pictures, I did obviously see that it was a 2023. So, the customer had some very thin scratches on both headlights. They were a lot more noticeable, or there were a lot more on the passenger side. So the customer ended up going through a car wash that left these scratches. And obviously you don't want to have to replace these kinds of headlights. I would imagine they would have been pretty expensive. And with it being this new, it just seemed pretty unnecessary. When they did contact me, I was completely honest with the customer. I said, hey, I've never done a vehicle this new, so I don't know how it's going to turn out. Given my experience with vehicles that have pretty intact clear coat, I know they can be pretty difficult. And I was just honest. I was like, hey, I'm not sure exactly how this is going to come out. And I was under the assumption that I was going to be sanding for quite a bit of time, giving it being a new vehicle and assuming the clear coat was going to be pretty difficult to remove. But it was actually the opposite, which was very strange. The clear coat came off really easily. I actually started with a 600 on this one because I kind of want to experiment with it and kind of test it out and see how it was going to work. So I started with the 600. It came off okay. I wanted to go a little bit deeper on the other side to kind of remove some of the clear coat, so I used the 400 on the inner side of the headlight, and it all came off really easy. So I told the customer, hey, if this doesn't turn out, I'm just gonna take off the clear coat on the whole entire headlight, but I don't want to remove all of the factory clear coat because obviously it's still pretty good. So I used a fade method where I very finely sanded the line between the old clear coat and the clear coat I was going to apply, and it came out great. The customer was really happy. The passenger side came out really good, but the driver's side gave me a little trouble, and I don't even want to call it trouble because it's more so me experimenting. So I just sanded on the spot where there were scratches on the headlight, but I did not sand some of the old clear coat on the inner side of the headlight. So when I had sprayed it with the clear coat, filled in the scratches perfectly, but on the side where the clear coat was still intact, it kind of beat it up, so it didn't look very good. So what I did was grab some Goo Gone, because obviously you can't sand it when it's fresh or when it's still wet. So I grabbed some Goo Gone and sprayed it on there on the headlight, let it sit for like maybe 30 seconds, and I grabbed a microfiber towel and just wiped it off. I took off all the clear coat I had just sprayed, and I just started with a clean slate. So at that point, I addressed the issue. I put some tape back on there and thoroughly sanded out the old clear coat on the inner side of the headlight. Did it with the 400, finished with the 600, and I reapplied the clear coat and it came out perfectly fine. So I learned quite a bit on this headlight job. It told me a lot about the new clear coats that are being used by the manufacturer. So when I say that, I want you guys to understand that all clear coats are not the same. Some have more hardening properties, some have more UV protecting properties. So this right here told me that this headlight, the hardening properties in the clear coat weren't nearly as present as old clear coats because it was so easy to remove. It was very soft. You can see right here I'm sanding with the 600 and it's coming right off, no problem. So that's in some cases how, this is a prime example that had the clear coat that they manufactured used had more hardening properties in it, the scratches may have not even happened because they were very thin. That tells me that whatever car wash they had went through, it may have not been as bad as I thought, because obviously some car washes beat up the front end of the car pretty bad, but in my opinion, the clear coat should have been able to withstand tiny little scratches like that, because again, those scratches were very, very tiny. So whatever it was that was brushing up on the headlight, it couldn't have been very abrasive. It couldn't have been very hard. So again, this is a good example on why different clear coats have different properties. Some work very well and some don't. So regardless of the fact, we were able to move the scratches. Customer was really happy. We were able to save him a lot of money because I would imagine 2023 Tahoe headlights probably would have been pretty expensive. So I was really happy to see his reaction, and even more happy we were able to get the scratches out for him. So Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.